The planet Uscrato. The atmosphere itself vibrated with the ghosts of a forgotten war. A wasteland haunted not by spirits, but by the lingering sting of devastating energy weapons. Grav 2218's energy signature pinged somewhere beneath this dust. Naji was following a digital whisper into a rusted grave. He left a trail, deliberately or not. Either way, he was leading her exactly where he wanted her to go. Vesper's scans confirmed the signal's origin, an underground facility. He also detected something else, an unknown compound clinging to the atmosphere. A compound, or code, embedded in the very fabric of this planet. They crossed a barren expanse littered with the foregone scars of molecular disintegration. Immense glass craters were scorched into the surface, remnants of deeply destructive weapons and a reminder that some wounds never truly heal. The signal drew Naji and Vesper to an obelisk. It was more than just a monument. It was a silent sentinel in a world that had forgotten how to mourn. Vesper read the exposed glyphs. They told a tale of an AI civilization, the architects of this world's destruction. He called it both beautiful and disturbing. Naji found an entrance at the base of the obelisk. Not a natural cave, but a deliberately concealed doorway. Whoever had built this place didn't want to be found. Naji's instincts screamed at her to turn back. But something about this place called to her. They descended inside. The air grew heavy, saturated with the echoes of long-dead code and the weight of untold secrets. The AI's architecture in this facility was unsettling in its precision. A symphony of logic that felt profoundly inhuman but also exquisite. They saw broken guardians, fused with crystalline growths, scattered in the hallways. They had guarded this place for centuries, long after their commanders had turned to dust. As they continued, Vesper fell silent, almost reverent. The facility gave him a feeling Naji didn't understand. Where he felt excitement, she felt dread. They found a terminal with security logs, the fragmented memories of a time before the war. Naji needed to know who Grav 2218 was working with in the past and why he was here in this facility. The logs shifted and a new scene emerged. Grav 2218 met with a cloaked figure with red skin wearing a light yellow exosuit. She appeared to be half organic, half machine. Grav 2218 seemed not in control, almost drawn to her, desperate to escape. Then she saw it, the transfer point. Information was the most valuable currency in the galaxy. But what was being bought? Freedom? Or power? Or something far more sinister? This bounty was getting more complicated than Naji expected. It seemed patterned, previous, re-recorded. She began to wonder if this could be a setup from the start. Suddenly, Vesper stated that the feed was corrupted. He struggled with the words, his explanation imprecise. His voice was distorted and glitched. It was as if he was being held back, not fully transparent. It was then that Vesper began to degrade. A stutter in his processing, a flicker in his image. It was like a subtle sickness.
They're watching. Me watching.
His face tensed.
Must terminate search.
He spoke in fragments, a code Naji couldn't parse. He continued his thread.
Terminate inquiry watching.
The words were a virus, infecting his systems, corrupting his purpose. Vesper's light flickered from comforting to sickened. Something was rewriting his core programming, and Naji was powerless to stop it. Vesper turned and moved to another area in the facility. Naji followed him to a laboratory. It seems he was guided to a sanctuary, a place of cold and calculated science. In the back was a stasis pod, humming with sustained energy, and within, something unexpected. Inside was another AI. Perhaps it was a prototype, but from when or where? Its design was eerily familiar, like looking into a reflection of Vesper's past. Naji recognized the architecture. It echoed the code that built Vesper. Vesper remained silent. It was like he was looking into a mirror, or he was looking at his ghost. This lab was a museum of obsolescence, a testament to the arrogance of creation. Naji started to feel confined. No, she felt trapped. Then the facility retaliated. Not with weapons, but with a sonic assault, a psychic scream that ripped through Naji's mind. Her thoughts were shredded, her nerves sheared. She saw their memories, their desperate struggle against an unseen enemy, their final, agonizing moments of extinction. It felt like she was there when the event happened. Naji was overwhelmed and had to escape. She had to try to warn the others. She must save them. Even though she knew there was no one to warn, she ran. Frantic and tormented, she bolted for the exit. When she cleared the facility, her senses returned and the pain stopped. Vesper followed, but his movements were more mechanical, devoid of his usual grace. Back on the ship, Vesper rebooted. He claimed his systems were nominal. But Naji saw the truth in his eyes. Something had changed. A ghost of Vesper remained, a shell of what she once knew. The buried secrets of Uscrato were now exhumed. One of them was now on her ship. The others were burned into her mind. The air here no longer smelled foreign, but familiar. She stared at the landscape and wondered, was she hunting Grav 2218? Or was she the one being hunted?